And we're back with another episode of Coaching Carlos. Carlos, man, how's it going?
It goes well, my friend. Just trying to stay warm, man. I'm down here in the south, and as they call it, the new north, because it's like 5 degrees out here.
I heard, man, I
You
heard.
know,
I got out just in time, man. I just left New Orleans night before last.
you really did, man. I was trying to recall. I don't think I've never seen snow in New Orleans or Florida like this. Like I can't really
Exactly.
remember this.
Well, when I was a kid in Florida, it snowed when I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old, and
Okay,
it wasn't that much snow. It was just a little bit, but
yeah.
we thought it was a blizzard, man. We was out there playing in it. That was the first time I ever saw snow.
Yeah, I know you had a good time with it because they showing all these highlights. The people in New Orleans, they're putting Tony Satchers in the on the snow, talking about they salting and seasoning, and they showed a beach, man. It was like a beach in Florida, and the whole beach where the waves were coming in, it was just completely white where the sand was. It looked cool. I'm not gonna lie, it was a cool little scene.
Yeah, I think that's Pensacola Beach.
Yeah, I think exactly what that. Yeah, that's exactly where you from, right?
Yeah, yeah. I grew up in
Yeah.
Pensacola, and I got a lot of friends and stuff on Facebook that are in Pensacola, and
Hmm.
everybody posting videos in the snow. You would think, you would think it's like a phenomenon or something. They never seen snow. It's crazy.
I mean, it's so much stuff for down there. It looked like they got y'all got about good 2 or 3 inches down there. It wasn't like that, like you said back in the day, a couple of flurries.
Yeah,
Nah, it's coming down out there, man. It's wild.
yeah, they got a nice little downpour. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. But it didn't stop me from watching that national championship game last night. What you think?
Oh, everybody came into the game. I feel like thinking that Ohio State was gonna blow them out. I mean, I was talking to a friend. I was like, if they hold it to 14 and under, that's probably why I'm thinking it's gonna be it. And to see that game going to the fourth quarter, and Notre Dame makes a run, right? You're like, oh, okay, we got something here. I just like the fact that it was competitive at the end. Ohio State, good team. I'm not gonna, well, great team because they won a championship, but I'm seeing them compare them to like the 2019 LSU Tigers and some of those old Alabama. I'm like, let's pump the brakes, guys. We
Yeah,
so get caught up in the moment sometimes. Like, let's pump the brakes, guys. But overall, very good game, good championship game.
yeah. I mean, we're looking at their run to get to the national championship. They knocked off quite a few top 25 teams, so
They did,
they're deserving of it.
they
But
did.
I wouldn't put them nowhere in the level of where LSU had that season. But then again, LSU, for me, that team was a top three team. But there's a
Mm-hmm.
couple teams that I would put ahead of that LSU team.
Ooh, we're gonna have to bring that back up then because I
Yeah,
really got them towards the top. I got I mean, we can go way back. We can go 95 Nebraska Huskers. That's how old we are. I can tell you some teams with them. But to your same thing here, I think overall pretty good game. And I think that Ohio State's going to be remembered now the first team to ever win the first annual 12-team college playoff, which is a pretty cool thing to have.
yeah.
I need
You
to
know
grab
that
my
that that
charger, man. I'm
that's
sorry.
that's
Let me.
difficult to do, man, because with this extended season for college football, that's unusual. For college teams to have to play 3 to 4 extra games, those college kids aren't really used to making that type of deep run. It could get tough, man. So, I mean, hats off to Ryan Day for finally getting the monkey off his back. Hats off to Freeman, for getting his team that far in what his second year as a head coach. So for me, it's impressive. A lot of people try to put the whole, African American coach on it, and but I just look at him as a great football coach, man. I get it's a big thing for African American coaches for him to accomplish that and get to that level, and I mean that's tremendous. But at the end of the day, the guy's a football coach, and he knows how to bring men together, motivate them. And I like what he said, man. He strives to be the hardest working coach in the building. I mean, you can see the guy really puts time into his craft.
Yeah.
So to have that much success that early on, when Brian Kelly left, a lot of people were thinking, "Hey, is this guy going to work out?" And I mean, hats off to him, man. Really shown what he could
Yeah.
do. Yeah,
He,
and I
he
know,
makes Notre Dame likable, and I kind of got a problem with that. I don't
you know,
like
I,
it. I don't like liking Notre Dame, but it's like,
he makes them likable. Exactly. Notre Dame is kind of like the Boston Celtics. Kind of hard to like them.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
I know our producer is a big Notre Dame guy, so I would love to hear what Bobby would have to say on this uh on this game. And I saw
What's
you
up, fellas?
putting up your Notre Dame stuff, and
Oh man, I've been a lifer since I was 6, 7 years old. Went to
okay,
my first Notre Dame game last season
Nice.
against Wake Forest, so I'm in there. I'm a lifer.
yeah,
I did a TikTok video after when he beat Penn State. I got like 17,000 views.
wow,
You know, a lot of people responding, still watching the video. It's crazy.
yeah. So with you being so in tune with Notre Dame football, and how far Freeman has taken them, I'm just curious. What's your take on the season? How do fans look at it? Do they look at it as a failure, a success? Was it kind of like a win it all or nothing type of season for them, or are they just happy to get there and they think the future's bright?
I think the future is bright. I think we have the right coach at the right time in Marcus Freeman. And if you look at the roster right now, yeah, we're going to lose Raleigh Leonard, the quarterback, but we got Steve Angeli, who's been there, and we have C.J. Carr, who's the grandson of Lloyd Carr, the former Michigan coach. So I think we're in good hands. You know, we have some great coordinators in Den Brock and Al Golden, who both have, college and NFL experience. The running backs are all underclassmen. The wide receivers are all underclassmen.
Okay.
The line,
Yeah, he's
who
recruited
was
well
much
down there.
maligned, they're all underclassmen.
That's
So they're
big.
bringing back a huge nucleus of players. So I think this is a stepping stone, if anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can get that quarterback position right, whether you got to address it in the portal or if you address it in recruiting, I'm not really sure. But, I mean, that's going to be key. You may have to pick up a quarterback in the second transfer portal window that's going to open up after spring.
All depends. C.J. Carr, like I said, he was one of the biggest recruits we've had recently, and he should be a stud. And
Okay.
Jelly's a guy from Bergen Catholic out here in New Jersey. I actually DJ'd his when they won the state championship against Don Bosco. Two big powerhouses in football in high school in New Jersey. I actually DJ'd their party when they came back from MetLife Stadium, so he was there. A couple of guys with the Texas. Those schools have everything.
Nice.
Those schools send players all over the country to the big programs. So
Cool.
Steve Angeli came in against Penn State, ended the first half, did well. So either
did
way,
good
I think
there.
we're going to be in good hands.
I was going to ask you real quick. I did see Angela get in that game, and from what I remember, the offense really got to moving. Riley Leonard was actually having some trouble in that game. And I mean, Angela came in, and I mean, the guy was whipping it all over the field. So I was like, if that guy's behind Riley, man, y'all might be all right.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. All right, guys, we'll enjoy the rest of your show. I'll be where I am.
All right. Playoffs, man. What do you think, man? I mean,
You talking about the college playoff or NFL?
I'm talking about the big show. I'm talking about
Oh,
Lamar's drop pass. I'm talking
wow, man.
I'm talking
This
about
is-
the
this
Kansas
is-
City Chiefs. People saying the Kansas City Chiefs games are rigged. I mean, we got to get it. We got to dig into it.
Let's start off with Lamar, to your point. So I'm not one of those people that think that Lamar's above criticism, but I also going to say that for him to have his team within a 2-point conversion after everything that happened in that game, a lot of things Lamar, it was his fault, right? To have his team right there, all we have to do is have a catch from your sure-handed tight end, and he doesn't do that. Shows me it's not him. He had the grit. Yes, he threw the interception. That was a bad interception too, Kirk. It was bad. I mean, I don't know exactly who was throwing to on that one. And that fumble, which, that's going to happen in those type of conditions. It's just going to – the field is what it is. But to get your team back through a beautiful pass, the pass before for the touchdown, let his team right down the field. The guy can get this done, but for some reason, Baltimore, they just like they I don't know. It's like it's getting to that Peyton Manning, John Elway deal where how long is it going to take? This guy's going to break through, but it seems like every year it turns into this heartbreak, and it's getting harder and harder to defend. Some of the things that's happening up there in Baltimore.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, and it's a telltale sign when you got players that are getting interviewed from Baltimore after the game that are saying we need to blow this thing up and start over. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
the players aren't even convinced that this is the team that can get them to the next level. And I just hope they
Hmm.
don't waste Lamar Jackson's career to where he's like a Dan Marino, this guy that's
Yeah,
won 2, 3 MVPs and never won a Super Bowl. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous how you can be a professional NFL tight end and you drop a ball with the game on the line that hits you right in your hands. I mean,
yeah.
who does that? So it's just like back when Tom Brady was in his thing. Lamar can't throw the ball and catch the motherfucker. Catch the ball as well. You know what I'm saying?
I am.
So, I mean, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. It's like,
I,
yeah,
is it one of those things where like because Andrews is a stud though. I mean, Andrews has been around for a while. It's not like this guy he's a multiple time Pro Bowl. I'm sure he's had 1,000-yard seasons. They say he had the most receptions out of any Raven in the playoffs from Lamar. It's just that moment. And and let me address this. You guys who are sitting in your underwear on the couch talking about you can catch the ball in that situation. Let's not get it twisted, man. That ball is probably like a brick. It's what 12 degrees outside. He's throwing that thing, man. He's throwing it hard as he can. Like I get it. It's supposed to be a tough catch. You're a professional, but come on, guys. Like these guys, I could have caught that things like that, man. Let's be careful. I don't know what it is about that team. It's always that one team in that generation, like if you want to talk about, and they can never seem to get over the hump. I don't think it's Lamar's fault. Do you think that it's who is it Harbaugh or like what is it that's missing here for them?
well, it's like you said during the course of the game, there were many mistakes made. So you can't put everything on that one play. I completely
Yeah,
get that. You cannot.
yeah.
But when big plays need to be made, big time players, which he's considered a top 3, 4 tight end in the league, have to
Mm-hmm.
make plays, whether it's cold or not. You get paid a lot of money to catch the ball when it's hot and when it's cold. A catch like that in that type of weather, you're right. The ball is hard and the ball is coming fast. You got to body catch it. You got to
Yeah.
body catch a ball like that. You might can't catch that ball with your hands. So you just got to make
And
the
he had to
proper
fumble
adjustments.
too.
But during the course of the game, they had other opportunities where it shouldn't have even been that close. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
could you can't put it all on Lamar. Do they have enough help for Lamar that
mm,
I don't think they've really gotten him. Have they ever gotten him an A1 home run threat receiver?
you don't think Zay Flowers just
I
you don't
think
think he's
I
that?
think Zay is a number 2 receiver.
He made the Pro Bowl this year. He's a Pro Bowler player.
There's
He
a
had
lot
on
of number
1,000
2
yards.
there's a lot of number 2 and 3 receivers that make the Pro Bowl. I mean that big body X that has tremendous catch radius. He
Oh, you
doesn't
want
have
like
that.
the okay. You want like the Mike Evans.
I,
You
I
want
mean like
the
that Des Bryant type guy.
yeah,
A
yeah,
true
yeah,
X. He's never had anything like that. A security blanket, you
yeah.
know?
He does have a lot of like little like like I won't say gadget players, but like underrated, like Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah.
Bateman came on towards the end of the year. I think that was a good sign for them that Bateman kind of took on the mantle with Flowers. He's a pretty big kid, but to your point, they've never had the superstar, a Tyreek Hill, or a guy that just can completely game breaker
A difference
and
maker. Yeah,
receiver. Yeah, they really never had that under him. I agree with you there.
exactly. And that would be helpful. That's the guy that's going to put up 10, 7 points a game, two tutties a game. Somebody you can
Mhm.
depend on. That's going to put up some scoring. So,
I
it
like
is
Derrick
what it
Henry
is.
though.
It's going
Did
to be
you
a
like
long
Derrick
off
Henry?
season. Henry, yeah, it was a great pickup. That takes some pressure off. But I mean, weapons for him to really get the ball to in space. Um, but like I say, it's going to be a long off season. Let's see how they do in the draft.
Mhm.
Let's see if Lamar can get remotivated. I mean, he had a great season, the season of his
He
life.
did. He did.
So we'll see. It remains to be seen. Let's focus on these teams that did make it, and see what do you think? How's that going to play out?
I think we had a question, man. Somebody just asked us. I see something pop up there. Didn't get to Someone asked us about the Eagles. Yeah, William Hathaway said, "What are your feelings about the Eagles and Washington game this week?" So let's start there, Kirk. Let's go. Let's talk about the rookie phenom. Guys just tearing it up, man. Jay Daniels, he is killing it. And I think, I always like to say this about Jaden. I think a lot of people underrated what this guy was coming out of college. I mean, he had a lot of experience. I think me and you talked about it as well in some previous shows where I think you said yourself you would have picked him over Caleb Williams as the number one pick. So a lot of people were really high on him coming into this year. I don't think that you could have anybody, even if you're at the highest level, what you thought he was going to do, to be one game away from the Super Bowl. And probably the key component in the team that was 4-11 last year to get to this point. So what do you rank this season? Let's start there, then we'll get into the Eagles. What do you rank this season for Jaden as an all-time great season? Some other all-time greats.
Yeah, I mean, my impressions were of Jalen early on. When I really was sold on him was probably his 7th game of the season, his last year at LSU. Once I saw what he did to Florida and how he played with Florida, I said to myself, that's the number one pick.
I don't know that he's a Florida guy, so I know you watched every minute of it too. You seen every.
I'm a Florida guy, but I had watched him 3 games previous because I was trying to get ready to watch him against Florida. So I always go 3 games back and watch all 3 games leading up until that, and I was just sold on him. The thing is, why he didn't get that publicity or credit that you felt like he should have gotten, or what I said he deserved, is because coming out of UCLA, I believe he came out of California. If I'm not mistaken, he originally may have went to UCLA. I'm not sure. Before he went to Arizona State. No, I know he went to Arizona State, but I think either he committed to UCLA or he actually went there his freshman year. I can't recall.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, LSU was his 3rd school, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, he was a 4-star coming out, but he was a kind of a borderline 4-star. He wasn't that 5-star phenom, that Arch Manning type of highly rated guy. I mean, he was a blue chipper, but he wasn't like, a top
rated
3 quarterback coming out. And then going to school like Arizona State, they're not really known for producing quarterbacks. He makes the transfer over to LSU. You get Brian Kelly in there. What quarterbacks has he ever really developed? So it was a lot of unknown, but they got a pretty good, effective offense coordinator in there, putting him in the right situation. And he made a tremendous jump from the first year at LSU. He wasn't so great. To that last year at LSU, he made a huge jump. And I was like, wow, he's kind of thickened up a little bit because he was super frail when he came out of school.
Yeah, it's real.
If I'm not mistaken, he was like 185 pounds. He's picking up to about a good 200 pounds. And I knew once he got into the draft process that he was going to be impressive. And for me, he was the number 1 guy on my board, way ahead of Caleb Williams. And lo and behold, he goes to a good situation with the Redskins by them getting Cliff Kingsbury, who kind of knows what to do with a dynamic quarterback, put him in the right position. You saw what he did with Kyler Murray. That was the one bright spot that they did have in Arizona. And he's putting the kid in some really good situations. The kid makes plays. The kid is a baller, and I don't think he's hit his ceiling yet. And I'm happy to see him in Washington, a franchise that have had success in the past with a black quarterback. And I mean, he's balling, man. He's leading them. And the guys around, they play great on special teams. If you really watch the Commanders, they have great special teams. And so, you got to win on all 3 phases. And they're peaking right now. They're really peaking. And so, man, wouldn't that be something to see a rookie quarterback make it to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, win the Rookie of the Year? I mean, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like the fact that I think some people forget that Jay Day's been around so long in college. He played with Brandon Ayuk at Arizona State. I think Herm Edwards was still the coach there. Herm's been on ESPN for like 3 years now. So
exactly,
that shows you the experience level. And then you go to the SEC, and I think it's one of those confidence boosters. You go to the SEC, okay, now I know I'm playing with the big boys here, and not only am I playing with the big boys, I'm beating some of these big boy schools. Like he thickened up. got to that right frame. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Decatur would be better. I did initially starting out, and this is coming from a guy that watched a lot of LSU games as well. But happy to see it. Now let's talk about before we get to the Eagles. And one more thing, I gotta talk about the Lions. I really want to talk about the Detroit Lions and how Dan Campbell. I think I said this earlier. I think we both have said this. I thought that Dan Campbell would cause them a big game. I really did, because to me, Dan Campbell is a great motivator, a leader of men, all that good stuff that you want to say. But he goes berserk in those games and panics every time. It happened against the 49ers last year. You know, as soon as they got to a certain point and he has to make a critical decision, he just blanks. You know, you cannot allow your receiver, for one, to be throwing a pass like that at that critical moment of the game. They got, you can't get cute at this time. What are you doing? I don't think that they have the pressure well being the number one seed at all. I think when things got tough, Dan Campbell didn't have a lot of things up in his aura to make him stop that train from going the other way. I didn't mean to get on that tangent, but I just had to bring up because the Lions were heavy for. They were 10-point favorites in that game, and they got spanked. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, and maybe, we looked at his where he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and we looked at that as kind of like a gift, because we thought it was like motivating his players to play harder. Had players that really want to play hard for him.
Yeah.
But as you said, when he gets in those critical situations, decision making, his emotions kind of, really distract his ability to make good decisions when the game's on the line.
Logical decisions. Good logical decisions.
That's not a good trait as a head coach. It's not, so especially in big games that are going to be close. So I think everybody was buying that Detroit Lions stock. It was up, and they choked when the game was on the line. So that's disappointing. But I think it's just Washington's time, man. I think that young kid is going to be a star.
So do you see a scenario that the Commanders could win this game against the Eagles? The Eagles should be the favorite. I think they got a more veteran team. But the concerns that I have with them is that offense. I know, yes, great. Saquon can run all over the field. We know that. They have a great offensive line. But there's going to come a game. It's just going to happen where you're going to need Jalen not to go 15 for 20 for 135 yards. You're going to need at least 300. Probably this game. The way that the offense is humming for the Commanders right now, the way Jaden is so composed, minus the conditions, because we know it's going to be in Philly and it's probably going to be cold, maybe snowing again. But what reason do I think that their offense is going to be able to do anything more than what they've been doing this entire run?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Commanders can win this game by a touchdown. I think the Commanders can put up more than 30 points, and I think they can win this game by a touchdown. I think Washington. I think Dan Quinn's game planning. I think he can definitely outcoach Sirianni, and I feel like Jaden Daniels can be a touchdown of a difference maker. I think, like as you say, he's going to throw the ball more than 30 times. He's going to have to throw it more than 30 times, but I think they can win by a touchdown. And like I said, I think that offense is peaking right at the right time. So
yeah,
I think Philly's downfall. They're a talented team, but they've sputtered on offense this year, like you said. And I just feel like as much talent as they have, they struggle from an organizational standpoint, and that's because of their leadership. So
I can't think of a game yet this year that you picked the Eagles. I don't think it's nothing personal, but you really don't care for Sirianni, man. It's just
you know what?
You don't believe in this guy, man.
You know what? And if he does not get past the Commanders, I think he's going to be out of there.
No, not an NFC Championship, a Super Bowl appearance.
He's getting there because the team is so talented. The team is so talented. A monkey could coach them to the damn Super Bowl.
Just saying, man. Look, my thing is Jalen gets timid in moments. He doesn't want to throw the ball. You can see it. He's going to rely on. You got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. You got a former Heisman Trophy winner. You got a guy that I know well here from his Tennessee days that is a bona fide. You talk about having a number one receiver, like you said, that's the guy right there. 6'3", built like a tank, can take off on you. All you need is a slant, and Jaden doesn't let it go. I just don't get like let the ball go. Just go deep. He wants to be so conservative by nature. The offense is conservative because they just want to run the ball. They got to get off his line. But Jaden, I keep saying Jalen seems to be conservative by nature too. Who wants to throw for 135 yards? I don't think any team can win that way. I just don't in the modern NFL.
Yeah, they're going to try to rely on Saquon, and that's not going to work out for him. It's not going to work out.
It's been working though. I mean, it was a scene to behold to see him running like all through the Rams. Yeah. Those 2 big touchdown runs that he had. So
I think a Dan Quinn defense is not going to give up that much, not like that. That's his specialty.
Do they have the horses though? Do you think they have the horses on their side of the ball to stop that guy?
He can scheme that up. Mm-hmm. Dan Quinn can scheme that up. Dan Quinn is a great defensive mind.
Look, I'm a Cowboys fan. I like Dan Quinn.
I guarantee they hold Saquon under 100 yards.
Oh no. Yeah. If that's a blowout, if they hold him to 100 yards, that's a blowout for the Commanders.
They'll hold him under 115.
Okay.
115. He might get a touchdown.
Enough.
He might get a touchdown. They'll hold him under 115.
If they hold him under 115 and scoreless, you probably looking at the Commanders going to the Super Bowl.
They're going to try to make Jalen win it with his arm.
Which would make sense. He hasn't proven yet, even with those studs. And Goddard is a stud. I think he's a pretty good tight end. It befuddles the man. It does make you think, goes back to like the coaching. Is this the way that they're being coached? Let's just not make the mistake. We got to get enough defense, give Saquon the ball enough, make it a few passes here and there. Let's get out there with the W. But I just don't think that's going to win against Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen if they have to see them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we got it again. We got Josh Allen. We got Pat Mahomes for another chance to go to the Super Bowl. Is this the year? Can we, Josh, Buffalo Bills Mafia, jumping off the tables, coming down? I would love to see nothing else for you guys to see Josh Allen finally break through. Now, ask me, do I think that's going to happen? Different topic, but I would love to see Josh Allen. Just a fresh face for the AFC in there, man.
Yeah. If they win, Bruce Smith needs a ring. Thurman Thomas needs a ring. Anyone that contributed to the Bills organization over the years, they deserve a ring. Because that
James
franchise,
Lofton,
that franchise, Andre Reed,
Marshawn Lynch.
Yep,
he played for him.
Yeah, so I mean, this may be the most watched conference championship game of all time. As long as it's not on Peacock, I don't know what network it's going to be on. But
I think it's both on network ones. Yeah, network TV.
Is it on streaming? Is it on a streaming site? Amazon?
No. I think both of those are like CBS, and I think the other one's on Fox. So yeah, I don't think we got to worry about this time.
Okay, cool. It's got to be But this could be the most watched NFC championship game, conference championship game of all time. I mean, it's so much anticipation from the in-season matchups they've had to the playoff matchups that they had to the highlighted quarterbacks to the Travis Kelce thing going to the Taylor Swift thing going. It's a lot of attention that's going to be on this game, man. And then the whole thing with a lot of people feeling like KC gets favorable calls or no calls. Man. There's so much out there, man. And then that diehard Bill Mafia is going to be in the house.
Oh yeah.
Man, I cannot wait to see this matchup. My prediction in this matchup.
It's hard to call, right? It's really hard to call because it feels like this may be the Bills' year, man.
Right. I really want to be right. I'm looking at that Leslie Frazier defense. I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are saying, the Chiefs get calls that are, hey, make you scratch your head.
That's how a lot of people's faces are. Every time you watch that game, you just
exactly. So Man, I just feel like Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, I think they win by a field goal.
Ooh, ah,
Yeah.
you, you know, look, real quick before I make my prediction thing, we gotta talk about it because Mahomes did get some bullshit calls. I'm sorry, BS calls, whatever you want to say, because he does it on purpose, and that's what makes it so bad. He bases it, and it's like every week this happens. He gets close to the out of bounds line. He kind of hangs out on that line and waits for somebody to come hit him hard. And sometimes you don't even got to do that. It's like as soon as they get to the backfield and they touch him anywhere or anything back there, he's getting that call too. It looks, I would never be one of those conspiracy theorists to think any game is rigged. Don't get me wrong. But I do think that they play favorites with Patrick. I do. You've seen similar things happen to other quarterbacks. I've seen Lamar Jackson get hit close to out of bounds, no call. I've seen something happen with Jaden Daniels, got lit up one time by one of the Knights, no call. But the very breath of a player on Patrick, and it's like they can't wait to pull that flag out. I'm sorry, you cannot not notice it at this point.
I had this talk with my cousin over the weekend. My cousin Chad, shout out Chad. He's a big NFL fan. He wanted to know from my experience, firsthand being involved in the league, did I ever see any type of, hanky
That's a damn good question. Yeah, that's a damn good question.
I say no. I've never witnessed anything. I mean, everything was like legit. We had the game plan to win.
Come on,
jobs
Coach.
on the line.
Come on, Coach. It wasn't one time that you was like,
no,
come on,
never.
man. That was a terrible call, guys. What's going on?
Never. The NFL is not the WWF. It's not scripted. It's not rigged. It's all legit. So, yeah, I never saw anything like that. So,
but can you say that you think that they play favorites? Just okay. Let's take another star play. Let's think about Michael Jordan real quick. He had his own rules. We know that Jordan had his own rules, right?
Mahomes may have some of his own rules. Yeah,
he's getting some of his own rules at this point. You can't touch the guy. I mean, but it wouldn't be so bad if he didn't like bait guys. Like we get that you got your own rules, but then he baits people. He runs and hangs out on the sideline just enough to get that extra 15 every time.
Yeah. But this is not the first time we've seen that. Tom Brady, the tuck thing with Charles Woodson. He's always had his own set of rules as well, So
it's crap, man. It's crap.
It is,
but it is what it is. I tell people he's the face of the league. Yep. But if people always say who's the face of the league, I say look at the guy who always gets the calls.
Yep, exactly.
That's the guy that they're pushing. That's who the face of your league is. NBA, whatever, NFL. But I'm gonna go opposite, Kirk. I'm gonna say that I think that this is the year. I think Bill Mafia finally gets it. I think Josh Allen has grown, and I have to admit, I wasn't his biggest fan coming out, and down through the years. But I've seen a lot of growth in Josh Allen, and I see a guy that now doesn't rush the process anymore. He's not having those turnovers. He's not making these dumb decisions that he was doing at some points, during these playoffs. Maybe he was pressing, but it looks like he's very relaxed now. Like he knows what it is. He's able. He got just enough playmakers with James Cook. I be forgetting that they even got Amari Cooper because they never throw the ball half the time. But he's got enough on this, and the defense has really come back together from a lot of injuries. Where some of that guys are fresh. Milano's fresh. He's making plays out there at the linebacker position. Kansas City hasn't been dominant this year, right? They winning, but they're not winning by a lot. And it feels like when dynasties have to, not be broken, but have to be kind of jarred a little bit, you need a guy that's playing at the top that's relaxed, that he knows that it's about time for him to have his moment. Because if he doesn't get it now, he may not ever get it. It's time for Josh Allen to take that. So I'm going to take it that this is the time. He's going to do it this year.
Yeah. I just don't know. The thing that concerns me about Josh Allen is he a great regular season quarterback and he does not have that clutch gene? That is what the jury is still out on. If he does not win this, because he's shown in past playoff games, it questions you. It makes you question: does he have the clutch gene? Because he went head to head with Mahomes that one time when they went into overtime, and the only thing that happened is he didn't get the ball back because that stupid overtime rules. And so he was going back and forth with him. I've seen him prove to me that I don't think that it's always him. I think he can get it done, but you got this monster Goliath
like Darth Vader hanging over the whole AFC with Pat Mahomes. Like nobody, he's doing Jordan again. You can't get by him. If think about it, if Mahomes wasn't around, Josh Allen might have about 2 rings at this point.
Yeah. So he's second best.
Like that, but I mean, yeah, somebody's got to be second best though, right? Everybody can't be the best. So I mean,
Yeah. If you ask me, Lamar's second best.
Well, Josh them just beat him, man. They took him down. So if this is the time to prove that, here you go. Because I think Joe Burrow's the best. I'll take Burrow off a lot of guys, man. I would.
You think Burrow's the best?
I think outside of Mahomes, we're just gonna put Mahomes over here. But out of like Allen, Lamar, you can't tell me Joe Burrow, when healthy, I mean, that guy produces. And he's went to the Super Bowl. He's proven that he can get there. You know, he's beat Mahomes. He's the only guy that like has went to Arrowhead and beat that guy. So I do trust Burrow.
That's the thing. When healthy, he's kind of fragile.
Yeah, that's true. I give you that. I mean, he's Glass Joe or whatever. But when that guy's healthy, he makes all the throws. He checks all the boxes, Kirk.
Yeah.
Can't forget about Joe. But you got to be able to make the playoffs. You can't miss the playoffs. And you know, your team always starts off slow and stuff like that to call yourself second. But I do agree with that.
You talk about somebody that needs more help. You know, I feel that was the core of his struggles. He didn't have enough help. His offensive line wasn't very good. And
that defense, oh my God, stinks. Absolutely stinks. You got to score 35 just to be in game. So, but
I think they need new leadership.
Yeah, that's probably, those Cincinnati doesn't like to move around. They don't like to pay those coaches. They're kind of cheap, and that's another downfall on their
I think Mike McCarthy would be good in Cincy.
That would make a lot of sense. They didn't fire the guy. They didn't fire Zach Anderson, did they?
No, I don't think so.
He's still okay.
No, he's still there.
Okay.
I think Mike McCarthy ends up in New Orleans.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I mean, does he have a quarterback? You run in the back with David Carr?
He's got to draft one.
McCarthy's not a bad coach. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've seen him here in Dallas, been a fan. But he doesn't give me championship. Like great regular season, we'll get you to the playoffs. But he doesn't, like you talk about whatever that clutch gene is. Mike fails every time. I mean, he won the Super Bowl again. I can't say that he failed every time.
I think his issue in Dallas was more Tony Romo Part 2 than anything else.
No, you didn't.
I think Dak is Romo Part 2.
Oh man, come on, no.
What he
is? He's proven more than Romo. I mean,
is Dak a great playoff quarterback?
Oh hell no, no, I'm not saying that at all. No.
Regular season, he's solid.
I mean, I didn't think that we should have signed Dak in the first place to that extension. I think we should have tested the market, and you should have, But again, I think the way that the Cowboys are ran, it's so hard to make sense of some of the things that happened under Jerry. Like it just doesn't make sense, man.
They should have promoted Will McClay to general manager a long time ago.
That guy has been with them for a long time. Hasn't got his due. You're right about that. But they're not gonna. I mean, they're never gonna have a general manager as long as Jerry's around. And I think his kids are gonna do the same thing. He's taught Stephen Jones this is the way that we perform. And that's why I'm kind of like I have no hope in. A lot of people say, well, when Jerry's not around no more, you get some duplicate. I don't think Stephen's gonna run it any differently. Why would he? This is what he's seen his whole life. He's gonna do the same thing his dad did. But
that's scary. That's scary.
It is scary. It is. And that keeps me up at night, Kirk. As a Cowboys fan, I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
But getting back to it, so I'm going to take Bills in AFC.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Eagles in the NFC for the Super Bowl. That's my matchup. Bills and Eagles.
Well, we completely differ. I'm going to go Commanders, and I'm going to go the Chiefs.
Okay.
Jaden against Mahomes for the championship.
That would be nice. Nice fresh face in there. Not the same guys we've been seeing. Like Jay just come and bust up the party. Yeah. Like first year, that would be crazy. Has there been a rookie quarterback that ever led his team to the Super Bowl? No. I don't think that's happened before, right?
I think Marino took his team to the Super Bowl as a rookie, didn't he?
That was his rookie year, right? 84, I want to say. I think that, and he never got back, which is the craziest part. Now, was that his rookie year? I have to look that up. We need some interns, man. We need some interns.
Yeah, I think it was. I'm not sure. Yeah, but this has never been done. So,
if he pulls it off, I will give him up. That will be the greatest rookie season of all time.
The thing I love about the Commanders is Dan Quinn is a defensive guru. So they're always going to be solid on defense.
Mm-hmm.
And with Jaden Daniels paired with Kingsbury, they're always going to be able to produce points.
Do you think Kingsbury is going to be there long, though? Former head coach. I mean, he got back into it this year. The offers are going to coming. I mean, they already trying to interview him now. So, I don't think he's going to be there long.
I think unless he gets a really, really great offer, he's going to want to stick with Jaden Daniels because the future's so bright with a young kid like that. So it would have to be the perfect offer for him to leave, And I think until then, he would probably stick around until that Giants job opens up. Or I think that's probably where he would go in a big market team.
Yeah. Really quickly, what do you think about some of these teams that still have openings? The Jets are reportedly just had their second interview with Aaron Glenn. They're moving pretty quickly, it seems, with him. Guy just lost the playoff game last Sunday. I already had 2 interviews with him, so I would think that he's probably the favorite to land that one. But you still got the Vegas Raiders opening out there. Who else we got? The Bears fielded with Ben Johnson, which is I would think sounds like a good pick, but I don't know. Offensive coordinator, first time guy getting the job. That's in a tough market. That's a lot to ask for. What you think so far?
We don't know if he can be a good head coach. You got the Saints job open up as well.
So Ben Johnson, really quick. I know I keep trying to get off these stuff, but a hell of an offensive play call. I mean, that play that they ran against the Commanders, they pitched the ball back to the running back Montgomery, and he throws a shovel pass to St. Brown. I've never seen that, Kirk. I've never seen it happen in the game. So, I mean, he has the guts to call some of the craziest plays I've seen. Now, that could be a gift and a curse, right? Because it backfired on him when he did that Jameson Williams crazy mess, that really got them out of the game at that point. But if this guy can get with Caleb and he can find his defensive guy, like you said, Dan Quinn's the defensive guy. He's found his offensive guy. If he can take over that offense and find the right defensive coordinator with Caleb Williams and make some magic, it's not that far off, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his track record, the way he's trending and his trajectory as a coach, in offenses, if he can't get Caleb Williams to play at a Pro Bowl level, not many people can. So we're really going to see going into his second year, we're going to see what the kid's made out of, So like I said, I felt like if his head was on straight, if he has his head on straight, I felt like he can be a solid NFL quarterback. But if it's not and he doesn't have the right guidance, I felt like he would be a bust. So we're gonna see if he can get him to being at a solid level. I feel like because I think he's peaked. I don't think he's gonna get much better. So, but like you said, that's gonna be a big deciding factor. Can the Bears land a quality D coordinator? Because if they can turn it around.
That the NFC North, everybody talked about this year, right? It was just this juggernaut. You had the Vikings that won 14 games. You had the Lions winning 15 games. You had Green Bay winning they won 11 games. All of them were out the first game that they played. Isn't that just weird how you go through an entire season, be the best division, really good team, and the playoffs just get sucked in and sucked out, right before you know it.
Yeah. You got a lot of those incentives on the line in those playoff games. Those guys are playing for an extra nice little windfall of cash, if they hit their incentives. So, and that's inspiration and to, move to the next round. So,
I think Kirk, as we do this, we should do shots out for teams that we know we're not playing them on. So, for the last round, we see the Los Angeles Rams bow out. Shouts out to Matt Stafford. He's a gamer. Say what you want to about Staff. He's going to come to play on those playoff games, and he even proved it playing in some crazy weather that he's not used to. And shout out to that defense on the Rams. They got a really bright future with Jared Verse and Frisk and those different guys on that side. I think they're going to be, as long as Stafford wants to keep playing down there, I think that they're going to have a chance every year to at least be in the playoffs. Shouts out, who's the other team that lost? Who am I stupid? Shouts out to Lamar. Come back and be better next year. Doesn't need to be the message. Just come back, be consistent again, and do it and get to that same spot that you was in this year and just do better. What's your shouts outs to the teams that just went out, I should say?
You know, I don't really think I have any particular shouts out, but I would like to see teams like the 49ers kind of get it into gear next year and turn it around, come back stronger, have a good draft, have a good free agency, and add to what they have and come back motivated to play. So I'd like to see Debo play healthy, and kind of seemed like when he got paid, he kind of faded away. So
he started wearing them weird outfits. Every time they start wearing them weird outfits, Kirk, I'm like, nah, see, that ain't the same guy no more. The guy who's wearing them little jeans and a sweater is out there catching 6 balls and 100 yards. They got to wear that leather pants with the strapless vest on, and all. I'm like, yep, he doing Hollywood, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what they do. I'm curious to see what Miami does. With their coach and their nucleus coming back.
See, Tyreek comes back,
Curious to see how the quarterback unfolds in Miami, and then I'm getting my mind in draft mode, man. You got this. I just finished coaching a college gridiron showcase. We had some bright young stars out there in that are going to be in the draft, and I'm just really curious to see how the draft's going to unfold. I think some teams are going to reach on some of these quarterbacks that don't deserve to go in the first round. So we'll see, man. It's gonna be crazy.
I'm in Nashville, right? So I'm still part of the scene here, radio wise. I do some things and events, and we have the number 1 pick. So the number 1 pick down here in Nashville, and it's just dominating everything. Everyone wants to know: is it Cam? Is it Shador? Is it Sam Darnold? Are we gonna? And one thing I want to talk about when we get a chance to, I don't like the way that they did my boy Rand Carthon. I don't like the way that they ran him out of town after 2 years when he was given a bad hand in the first place. But that's subject for another day. So I get to run my mouth on that. So we'll see how it turns out down here in Tennessee. I will definitely keep you posted about what's being said with some of the moves. Shouts out to you, Kirk, man. Yeah, that's pretty big. You went down and got a chance to be able to coach again and catch up with some young stars, man. We got to see you down there with a microphone and a camera or something, man. We need to get some exclusive interviews. You got 2 jobs now, Kirk. You're a coach, but you're in media now, man. I need both of them being working now.
Yeah. I did bring my mic, but just the way things were flowing that weekend, I didn't really have a chance to sit down with any guys because they had over 60 scouts there, and almost every NFL team was there. And so the guys, after practice, they have to go right into interviews with the NFL teams. And it's really nerve-wracking because you have like these 2 humongous conference rooms. And in one conference room, you have the NFL interviews. And in the other conference room, you have all the players that just finished practice and they're just eating, dinner. And then a liaison guy comes in and he'll call your name. He'll be like, the Saints want to meet with you. The Jets want to meet, whatever teams. So the guys are just on pins and needles, hoping that they get called for interviews. A lot of them don't get called. What you're saying.
Yeah, so that is kind of weird, man. Awkward at that point, right? Yeah,
it's kind of hard to do media interviews unless you catch them like right after practice. So
I got you.
I'll be more prepared next year to try to get something going.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, man. That's all I got for this week. Anything else you got? Shouts out to the people.
No, man, that's all I got. I just I pray that everybody has a good, prosperous new year, and that God's in everyone's favor, that this world can get better under this new presidential leadership, that we can get some things in place and improve this country, and get everybody going in the right direction. Everybody take care of themselves in 2025. Be sure to follow, like, subscribe to Coach and Carlos. It's a new venture we're doing together. We want 2025 to be blessed and bigger than 2024. and we're gonna keep you guys locked into the draft. We're gonna be covering the draft, and then we're gonna move into free agency and into the season. So but first, hey, we got to finish these playoffs out. We're gonna watch these two conference championship games and cover the Super Bowl. And man, it's in New Orleans this year, back in New Orleans, so that's major.
Yeah,
But
you going down? Since it's at home for you?
I just got back from New Orleans. I could go down. My sister's really plugged in with the whole hotels, and she got some stuff going with the
Okay.
NFL experience and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
man, I just got back, man. I can't do it, so I got the kids, Yeah, it'd be dope if I could. Yeah, man.
Nah,
But that's all I got, player.
Man, shouts out to everybody watching out to the show. Y'all make sure y'all keep it locked in. Like Kirk said, I got to get Kirk in some basketball, man. We need to be across a couple of seasons. I'm trying to get Kirk on some basketball and got some other tricks up our sleeve. So to echo Kirk, hope that you have a nice, prosperous 2025. Y'all stay warm out there. Most of the country is dealing with this bitter cold and stuff we've never seen. So y'all stay warm out there. But you're in the house. You ain't doing much. Keep it locked and loaded with Carlos and the coach. We're going to keep you guys with everything that you need to do. So next time we're talking, hopefully we'll be talking about that new Super Bowl matchup. But we'll see who's right. Was it me or was it Kirk? Is it the Commanders versus the Chiefs, or will it be the Bills and the Eagles? Tune in next week to make sure you see.
Yes, sir. Out.
Out.